The Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross brings the best freestyle motocross riders in the world and a lot of cash. Mad Mike Jones back from injury and on a roll. He's ready for the young phenom, Travis Pastrana. Travis has never lost a freestyle motocross event in his life. And what about the flying Hawaiian Clifford Adoptante? And who could count out this guy? Tommy Flowers. He's ready to do battle. The best riders are here in Vegas, and they're ready to roll with the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross. Welcome to the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross. 3 of the most lucrative stops on the IFMA Freestyle Motocross Tour. San Diego, Baltimore, and we kick it all off tonight here in Las Vegas, where riders will be launching their motorcycles 50 feet in the air, and then they'll climb from one end to the other. They'll literally hang off the back fender, both hands, both feet off the bike and in front of the handlebars. Sounds crazy, I know, but consider this. In 3 nights, these riders will earn more money than you and I would make in 3 years. $175,000 is what we're talking about. One thing for sure, it's going to be big, it's going to be sick, but it's not going to be easy. For more on that, let's go to my colleague tonight, Robbie Floyd.
And Terry, this is a very tough course. It's 110 degrees outside, it's cool inside, but it's very short and very compact. That means they're going to be having to bust some of the sickest tricks imaginable in a very short amount of time. We had 50 riders yesterday trying to compete for 15 spots here tonight. Coming out number 1 was Mike Jones. Number 2 was Travis Pastrana. But something tells me that Tommy Flowers is going to be the guy to beat here this weekend. Much like his course, he's very short and very compact. Watch when he does the no-footed can-cans. He gets great extension with his legs, he holds them out and brings them back, all in a short amount of time. Quick, short, compact, that's going to be the key to victory here in Vegas.
There is no doubt about it, Robbie. The toughest seat in the house is aboard one of these freestyle motorcycles tonight. The second toughest seat, it's the judge's seat. You can see how the score comes to a perfect 100. It's based on execution, variation, use of course, and number of tricks.
And execution really important. It's 40%, but it's also a tiebreaker. That's going to be the determining factor of who maybe wins tonight.
Can't agree with you more about that, Robbie. Look at the lineup here tonight. The best riders in the world are here to try to take some of that cash here at the Vans Triple Crown. Now, you can't do it without the right equipment, and for more on that, the third member of our team, Brian Farrell.
Hey guys, speaking of execution, here we have some of the modifications on these freestyle machines. We're going to start back here on the rear fender, which is cut in length so that the riders can get a bigger execution points on throwing out their seat grabs. Then we move up here to this handle. This is used for Indian air grabs, which is where you cross the legs. Then these side cut panels are used for heart attacks or either double grabs. We're going to move here to the middle of the bike, which is the slimline seat, which is cut out for foot tricks. And then up towards the front, we have a smaller bar pad, which lets the feet go through the bars much easier for bar hops or McMetzes. Now, these are just some of the modifications on these freestyle machines, which these riders are going to be utilizing to determine their execution scores, and we're going to have to see who's going to win tonight.
Robbie, look who's the first to come out onto this track in a 2-minute run. First and foremost, 2 minutes is a long time to fill with freestyle tricks.
Yeah, it's twice as long as I had to qualify, so they've really got to get the routine in their head and, you know, go out and bust as big as they can, but it's a long time.
Work doesn't even waste any time at all. He's trying to clean the bike out a little bit. They may have an idea in their head when they come out on the track, but sometimes things go awry. Then they lose their focus, and boy, that can be disastrous. Work hits the big kicker, and he's known for whipping at the spud butt on the side hill landing.
Yeah, he's also getting some use of course points as well, because that's not a normal jump for these guys. He took off on one jump, different transition as he shows you how to do the nag-nag.
Kind of old school trick, comes from the Supercross days, but it's still a staple of freestyle, and that almost looks somewhat like a dead sailor there. No trick, from that angle at least, it didn't look like a whole lot of trick pulled there from Rourke.
Well, I think it's not what he planned on. He did the no-footer one-hander, which is very easy for him, but at least in the judge's mind, he did something on it.
Which is, you know, Rourke is feeling the pressure, it seems to me right now. Being the first out of the gate, he goes for the lazy boy, hands behind the head. Normally, he can poke it out a lot more, so I think he's got a little bit of early season, a lot of money jitters going on.
That's definitely the case. Execution, hey, not too many jitters there. He does the no-handed lander. That's a big jump, very steep downside, and that's hard when you do those no-handed landers.
The thing that's going to separate tonight, it's going to be the combinations, and there you see it, the candy bar to saran wrap.
Yeah, if you do multiple tricks on the jump, the judge is going to like that as well. Don't just tuck it big once, do it twice.
And again, this is use of course. We're seeing a lot of different tricks now from Rourke. You just saw the cliffhanger. Going for the no-handed lander across the big gap. And, boy, I got to tell you what, going 70 feet across, that's a long way, especially when you're up there looking down.
And he was thinking about it, too. Did you see him when he was in the air? At the last second, he let go of the handlebars. He probably thought he was coming up just a little bit short, but decided to do it anyway.
I'm wondering if it's an advantage or a disadvantage to be the first rider out. I guess you could set down the law. You kind of set the pace that everyone else is going to have to chase. But then again, it's up to you to really set that tone.
Oh, nice move there. But I'll tell you, nobody likes being first. The judges have him to play off of. They don't want to give him too high of scores because later they want to have some room for error so maybe somebody can't beat him.
And again, it looks like Rourke kind of got crossed up there. No trick.
Rourke with another saran wrap variation. He keeps duplicating those saran wraps, and the judges have to be looking at that. That's 40% variation.
Yeah, and it looks like the majority, there it is again, of his tricks are in front of the handlebars with the heel clicker. As time is running out for Chris Rourke, he's going to get one more run at it.
And that's going to be it. You know, the one thing about Chris Rourke is he kept doing all those tricks and saying in front of the handlebars. That has a lot to do with this course being short and tight. When you're on the gas, all the way up the face of these jumps, you don't want to hang off the bike if you're already looping out.
Rourke, who has decided to forego racing and make the commitment to freestyle motocross, he proved it by moving from the state of Idaho to Southern California to make sure he gets all of his tricks dialed by riding with the best riders in the world. Albeit tonight he looks a little stiff.
Well, the Vans Triple Crown Freestyle Motocross is the most prestigious event. And check out that classic whip to start things off. And he did the transfer. That's not a normal landing spot. The judges are loving it.
Now look at this. He goes back old school, one of the original tricks, the knack-knack. Add to it a look back.
Yeah, he's taking a little peek back, a little different variation, and of course, the heel clicker, one of the first ones, but he added some variation, the no-handed lander.
Well, Rourke is sitting on the hot seat. Take a look at his score of 84. It'll keep him in the hot seat now, but I don't think he's going to be there come the end of the night. There's a couple of reasons for that, not the least of which is this guy right here, the phenom, 16-year-old Travis Pastrana. He has never lost a freestyle motocross event in his life. He's psyching up in the pit area right now. And then there is the grandfather of freestyle motocross, Mad Mike Jones, who's back after a serious injury. He has to write down his tricks. He's trying to get his routine together. It's going to be big tonight here in Vegas. Give it up for Mr. Heart Attack, Harry Moore! Las Vegas. In one block, you can go from Paris to New York to Italy and even get a little slice of rock and roll. But all of it pales in comparison to the pandemonium that's going on tonight here on the UNLV campus. We're at the Thomas and Mack Center. It is the PlayStation Pro. It's the first stop on the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross, and it's sanctioned by the IFMA. Man, it is going crazy here tonight, Robbie. Second rider out is Jeremy Carter. He's new to the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross.
This guy is unbelievable. Brendan Sundell with SMP says, hey, this kid is going to be somebody to watch in the future. And after watching practice and qualifying, I definitely have to agree with him.
Waste no time kicking it out. Check him out. The extension, that's the first trick we've seen off the back of the motorcycle.
A nice heart attack by Carter. He didn't waste any time going for big tricks.
Throwing out, now he's working the front of the bike, going with the saran wrap. It was really the candy bar throwing it off and then bringing it around saran wrap.
Did you see the powder flying, though? He almost landed off the wrong part of that jump. Not the downside, but off that transfer. He definitely was not intending to do that.
One thing I'm seeing here with Jeremy Carter that I did not see with Chris Rourke, who is your current leader with a score of 84, throws out the cliffhanger. Look at the extension. He looks relaxed. He looks like he's ready to just get down to business.
Well, everybody knows Chris Rourke. Not that many people know Jeremy Carter, and I think that's to his benefit right now. If you don't have all that pressure, it's got to help you mentally.
Everything to gain and nothing to lose. Jeremy Carter really starting to bust out some new tricks. Remember, it's use of track, it's execution, it is 4 different categories. And look at the extension on that bar off.
Unbelievable. Stuck the feet out in front of him, but it was past the front fender, and he's going to get some great execution points. Variation, another one is that you saw him come up short just in variation. Watch how he changes the way he does certain tricks.
He is really using a lot of the track. Look at that one-handed, no-footed can. That is a combination in one trick alone.
So we saw the no-footed can that started off pretty early. Now we saw the one-hander. So he does keep up with that no-footed cam and try different varieties of it.
And another saran wrap for Carter.
Boy, way off the seat, way high. You like to see that gap between his rear end and the seat. it means he's really trying to go big. Indian air with a seat grab. 2 different tricks in one again.
Yeah, booking it up behind him, Superman style. Jeremy Carter really, we said early on, nothing to lose and everything to gain, and he's feeling good. One-hander looking over to the crowd. He's trying to get the crowd involved. The more love you get from the crowd, the more love the riders are going to give back.
Yes, the judges like that crowd participation, and he does the double saran wrap. What looked to be the bar hop brings both feet around and completes the double saran wrap.
So at one point, both feet, both hands off the motorcycle and in front of the handlebars. Folks, try doing that on just your kitchen table chair.
Unbelievable. He ends his routine with the sailor, meaning that he pulled off no trick on that jump, but it might have been after time expired. He might have saw that red flag.
Take one out of the Carey Hart playbook. Look at Jeremy Carter doing the heart attack. Boots to the moon, almost a vertical extension.
He got the grab. He was almost trying to do a look back like Tommy Clara, as you'll see a little bit later. But, man, pulling off a nice cliffhanger. Legs straight out, arms straight out. Judges are going to be liking it.
A lot of space between the seat, and there it is. The bar hop, his rear end past the handlebars, almost over the front fender.
Unbelievable. Now we check the grab. Look, grabs the seat, side panel combination. Indian air with a twist. So Superman with the Indian air and that seat grab. Unbelievable.
And look at the score for Carter, an 86.30, which was enough to knock Chris Rourke off the hot seat. I'm telling you, folks, we've only just begun. Don't go anywhere. Let's take a sneak peek backstage. You talk about focus and concentration. Trevor from wherever Vines, he's ready to blow it up. He's coming up on the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross. Welcome back to Las Vegas. It is the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross, the most lucrative freestyle event in the world. And with this kind of money on the line, these riders don't want to leave anything to chance. Technological advancement could be the key. Trevor Vines wearing a radio communication system.
For the minute run, it's not too big of a deal. Like, you can pretty much remember that. When you get into 2 minutes on a course, especially like this, it's real tight. You might make 10 laps around it. And when you get to that 7th, 8th, 9th lap, you forget what you might have already done or what you need to throw out. And if you have to think too long about it, by the time you're through the turn, you're already off the jumper in the air, and you might pull some kind of boner move, and you know, that'll cost you a lot in an event like this when everybody's going to be nailing every trick. So with the radio, I can have communication. They can let me know what's coming up, what I'm going to be, if I'm going left or right, or what trick I'm going to be doing next, and it takes one element out of the whole deal.
Trevor Vines, another one of those riders, not only making the technological commitment, but he has made the geographical commitment as well. Forever last year on the tour, he was the vagabond, Trevor from wherever. Now he's one of the Southern California boys.
He definitely means business. Check out the Las Vegas lights he has on his boots. He looks like a casino out there on the freestyle course, but Trevor has definitely stepped up this year, going bigger than ever, the Superman seat grab.
He's going to have to better that score of 86.30 set down by Jeremy Carter, who's sitting in the hot seat. Look at the extension on the cliffhanger there. Last year in the Vans Triple Crown, Trevor was riding the 4-stroke. This year, he's back on a 2-stroke with a fender grab into no-hander lander.
Yeah, he's definitely stepped up that 4-stroke a lot heavier, a little different power delivery. He's now riding the YZ 250, and you can tell he likes it a lot better. And look how aggressive he is. That 4-stroke's kind of sluggish. That 250 he's on right now, he's really aggressive, and it's paying off.
Trevor's one of those guys. Oh, look at the nothing. He is one of the few riders to go out and bust that. No part of his body is touching the motorcycle at any time.
Double saran wrap and no
kidding me?
lander. Oh, man.
How did he do that across the giant gap? And then he comes back like it's no big deal. Another saran wrap. So the judges are seeing all sorts of tricks in a very tight amount of time.
We qualified pretty well. You have to get here in the finals, and then it's up for grabs. Anybody can take it. And Trevor going for broke.
Got to be a little bit calming to have that voice in your ear as well, reminding you what you're going to do next. Nice job, or whatever those kind of words of encouragement. It's almost like having an audio coach.
Well, I talked to some of the guys. They said there is no way. Now, look at that. There's a different part of the course. We've seen nobody take off from it. The use of course points, he got them.
Using the side of the big dirt ramp. And another knack whip. He's really whipping that bike sideways and taking one leg completely off and swinging it around behind him.
Check out Trevor's bike. He has the full body pedals. It keeps him from maybe catching a boot on part of the bike just a little bit. Something different than the freestyle guys use and the motocross guys might not.
The sterilizer coming down and landing it and stepping up, and the crowd is going nuts. The lights are lighting up. This is Viva Las Vegas.
Trevor knows he's the man right now. He had an unbelievable run. Right now he says, if I'm not in that #1 spot, something is bad, wrong, and I think I'm going to start a riot tonight.
Check it out. He's got shorts on in anticipation of sitting down on the hot seat. Look at the run right from the get-go. A giant whip.
Takes a look back again. Just something fun. He adds a little bit different flavor. Great. Cliffhanger keeps his hands way out, way high. Legs fully extended.
And there's the double Saran to a no-hander lander. Hello, look at the bike rebounding on the suspension, onto the brakes, and he's looking up at the crowd and ready for another big move.
Unbelievable. Look at him bring the feet up in front for the sterilizer. Now watch out for that gas cap. That could definitely hurt, Terry.
Boy, let's go down to Brian Farrell trackside.
Trevor, you came out, a lot of variation, sick run. I heard you got a little earpiece in your ear where your buddy's telling you your next trick. Is that helping you focus with all these jumps out here?
Yeah, you know, with a little tight course like it is, in 2 minutes' time, you kind of forget where you're headed after the first minute, and you want to be on the gas, charging, making sure you pull every hit, so it helps.
I think you're charging. You think you're going to bump Carter out of here, the new kid, out of the seat?
That's my seat, man.
Well, I think an 88.0 bumps Carter out. Trevor's in the hot seat.
Trevor Vines knocking Jeremy Carter out with an 88. Carter had the 86.3. That's good enough for second place right now. He'll take a seat. Was it just me, or did Trevor sound like Mickey Mouse after the sterilizer?
He says, hey, Vegas, this is my house. That's my seat. And you see, he takes the lead with an 88.0. But will it be enough? I think he wants to be in the 90s.
Next, we're going to walk across the rice paper with the freestyler with all the martial arts moves. Mr. Kung Fu, Ronnie Feist, ready to give you a roundhouse kick. Welcome back to Las Vegas. We have drinks, we have corn, and we have the 50 best hot dogs on 2 wheels. 50 invited riders to the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross. 15 qualified for the event, and we're down to the 8 finalists. They all had to qualify, even this guy. Mr. American, all clean cut. He is every parent's dream child. His name is Travis Pastrana. Travis Pastrana has set the motocross world ablaze, and he's only 16. He's never lost a freestyle event in his life, but when he retired at age 15 in order to race, he now finds himself rusty, and he has to qualify for the Vans Triple Crown.
I've been out of the sport for a year and a half, and there's so many guys that have elevated to the next level that, you know, I need to qualify. I wouldn't say one of the top trick jumpers now. With my motocross background, I should be able to put a really solid run together and hopefully finish up top, but my tricks are a little lacking. I have to pick them up.
The rigors of a day of qualifying. Even the best sometimes have to go through it. There is the waiting.
Where do the judges sit?
Oh, and there's always a list of questions.
Let's find out.
And more waiting. And finally, something that feels somewhat familiar. A chance to show off for the judges. There's always just a little bit of room for improvement. And being a great student, it's right to the homework, the videotape. And checking out the other riders. And waiting. And a couple of more questions.
I don't ride again till 5.
Then it's back to the office again, a place where you feel somewhat familiar. And you stick the big trick for success.
Vans Triple Crown would be really cool. I mean, as far as freestyle, I want to keep on going as undefeated. You know, that would mean so much to me. And, you know, I'm not going to go out here and just kind of play around, but it's definitely, if I have fun, I can't be disappointed.
Well, if he stays healthy, that should be no problem at all. As Travis has qualified, he's coming up a little bit later in the program. He will definitely be the guy to beat, Robbie.
Well, I think he's actually more nervous now than he probably ever has been because he's had such a long layoff. He had to qualify. That was an excruciating day of qualifying, and he really thought there was a chance. He might not. One bobble could have cost him.
Long day, going through 50 riders. Boy, we go from the clean-cut All-American Travis Pastrana to the tattooed, body-pierced laden Ronnie Feist, Mr. Kung Fu.
He's not afraid to throw some spin kicks out there when he hops off his bike, and this guy's got a style of his own. I really like Ronnie.
It's like the old story, you can't judge a book by its cover. It certainly fits Ronnie Feist. His job, to try to knock Trevor Vines off the hot seat. Look at that big Cordova. It looked like his boot, though, hung up when he was bringing it back down.
That is his signature trick. He throws the Cordova bigger than anyone, but hey, no footed can. Notice how far he sticks it out. He's almost hanging his armpit on the seat, and that's something good, really going to be looking for.
You can see, look at the extension on the Superman Indian Air. Look at the back fender. It's been modified. It's been shortened. So is the front fender. That's to allow him to climb over the front end or the back end. Going with the no-hander lander. The score he has to beat by Vines is an 88.
Vice with the old school whip, taking a peek over at the crowd. They like that. They like, you know, seeing, having eye contact with them out there. It's going to play a big part in this crowd participation. No footed can to heel clicker. 2 tricks in 1.
Boy, we first started seeing the combinations last year on the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross and a huge bar hop. But once again, Feist gets the boots hung up on the handlebars when he brings it back in.
Yeah, you notice the freestyle guys, they're all running those pro tapers or the handlebars with no crossbar. That's something a lot of motocrossers use, but almost every freestyle motocrosser uses.
Another Superman C-grab. Feist sticking it way back, and he got to it late. I didn't think he was going to be able to land that.
Look at how slow he is. You saw Vines, how fast he was around the course. Double heel clicker. He's got a different approach. Feist very slow. Look, almost stalls the bike there. It does. Actually leaves it neutral.
Feist again with a no-hander. Not quite a suicide air. The arms out to the side. If it was suicide air, the arms would have been behind his body.
Oh, great bar hop. That time comes up a little bit short, but you notice that extra little push he gets, keeps the feet way out in front of the front fender, and there's the Cordova again. His signature move, and he does it better than anybody.
He's betting that the judges are noticing the different subtle nuances in the 3 tricks. The staples have been the bar hop, the Cordova, and the no-hander lander.
As time runs out, Ronnie's routine looks like you have saran wrap to one-handed lander. Maybe his time expired, but it was a freebie for the crowd. Feist happy with his routine, and you can tell he's having a good time out there. Thank you, Ronnie Son.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Kung Fu kicking the legs out in front of the motorcycle. Looked a little bit tentative on that saran wrap to one-hander lander, but you know, the crowd's loving him here in Las Vegas. You know what? And there he is, going through the martial arts routine. This guy is pumped. I will look for something big out of him in the upcoming rounds when we go to Baltimore and San Diego.
Yeah, I think he's glad to be in this 8-rider final. That's a good paycheck for him, and he wants to get as much money as he can in the shortest amount of time. Let's take a look at some of the tricks Ronnie pulled off. As you can tell, he's pretty happy, smiling underneath that helmet.
Trying to take the big payday back to the dojo. Look at him kicking it out back. It almost looked like he was going to try to go for the heart attack. He didn't quite get the feet up, so we'll call it a Superman seat grab.
The double heel clicker again. Doesn't pull off just one. Goes ahead, kicks it out another time. Something the judges really look for. And that's not going to be enough, Terry.
86.30, and definitely not enough to knock Trevor Vines out of the hot seat. So with an 88, look at Vines. He's got a smile. He knows he's on his way to a big payday if he can keep his rear on that hot seat. And look who's up and out of the retirement home. Grandpa Mike Jones. He is ready to tear it up with the youngsters. Coming up. Hey, there he is, Mad Mike Jones, the guy we've been joking about calling him the grandfather of freestyle when he's really the godfather. Robbie Floyd got together to find out what makes him tick.
What makes Mad Mike me is I'll do anything it takes to put on a show, whether it means landing no hands. Even if I know I'm going to crash, I'm not going to grab back and hold the bars because, you know, that was my trick, and I'm going to go through with it. And, you know, doing just a lot of the crazy things I do, the upside-down whips, going over the bars on purpose. That's the wild man, Mad Mike.
Being the oldest rider on tour, injuries have taken their toll over the years. Just last year, a broken neck and a broken back, and the only thing keeping his knees together are his knee braces. But Jonesy has had a different year in 2000. It's been a totally different story.
What's happened lately is I've been able to ride. It's been you know, after I broke my neck, I came back and it was wintertime at home. I was only doing contests. You can't go to a contest with 3 minutes of practice and learn new tricks. Now I've been riding around with Tommy Clowers, went to his house for a week. He came to my house for a week, him and Jeff Tilton. And I went to his house this past week again, so I just been practicing, and it shows. I mean, everybody's come up to me saying they've never seen me ride as smooth and do my tricks as clean as I am, and I think that plays a big part in the judges. And I learned a few more tricks as well, so hopefully I can keep the roll going. I'd love to win this weekend.
Mad Mike, are you ready to rock? Because we're ready to roll.
What up? It's hot in this town. Let's do it. Lower it.
I like Vegas because of the lights, and it's a fun town. I mean, everybody gets together, and I'm friends with all the jumpers, and Blaine, my buddy, Blaine V-Rock has got a limo, so I get a limo for the weekend every time I come here. Usually stay at the Hard Rock. It's a fun place to hang out with your friends. It's just a city that never sleeps, and we don't get done jumping until midnight. Most places we go, the clubs close at 1, but these ones don't close. So you can do what you want here.
Man, it is so good to see Mad Mike Jones back on the track on a motorcycle. Last year, he was one of the co-commentators of the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross. And look at that, busting out the no-hander lander right from the get-go.
Tried doing that suicide, went ahead, said, yeah, I think I can do it right now. No-handed lander, start things off big. The surfer, and lands it.
There's something that's been inspired by his time spent with Tommy Clowers. You heard him mention that in the interview. He has been spending a lot of time in SoCal with the boys. One-footed whip, and boy, he had that bike flat.
That was the original rodeo. Pastrana has his version. Well, that was the original rodeo. And no better place, a great Superman seat grab, and no better place to pull off the rodeo than the home of the National Finals rodeo.
Well, it's been a week here, and look at that, the Coffin Jonesy, great extension. Not the same as the Lazy Boy. You still keep the hands on the handlebar.
And that is the jump that he invented. You see the cliffhanger. He's doing very well right now. He's got to bust big. He's got to keep it going. You've seen him charging really hard, unlike some of the other riders.
Mike Jones, a former factory racer. He rode for a long time. What kind of combination was that? A heel clicker to a nothing.
Nice move by Jonesy. You talk about he's the only factory rider in freestyle normally. Pastrana is factory Suzuki, and you see him hit that transfer. But Jonesy has a factory freestyle contract.
Jonesy, one of those guys who's been a pioneer, an innovator, and an all-around great ambassador for both motocross, arena cross, supercross, and now freestyle motocross.
Yeah, this guy's been going at it for so long. You see about 35 seconds left in his routine. The conventional Superman, you see how far stretched back off the bike, and the front end's going to want to climb. The farther back you get, Jonesy went big.
Jonesy really hitting the big gaps. Goes for the fender grab, gets the hands back. It looked like for a moment there he was going to go fender grab to no-hander lander, but you get a slight little body twitch, and he's got to go with whatever feels comfortable for him.
Oh, there's the flatty, also known as the Miracle Whip. Look how far sideways. The fans had a great sight, or great shot of that drain flow.
Earlier he did the Coffin right there, the Lazy Boy. The hands completely off the bike and behind his head.
Look at him seat bounce, a different transfer. Nobody has jumped that. I don't think anybody else has even seen that jump all weekend long.
John's just loving all the love that's coming at him from the crowd here in Las Vegas. He didn't even know where to go now. Hand in the air. I can remember last year at the opening round of the Vans Triple Crown and Jones unable to ride, just chomping at the bit, telling me, you know what, I'm coming back, and I'm going to win this thing.
This is a guy who broke his neck and his back practicing last year for this Vans Triple Crown event. He came and picked me up at the airport a week later in the neck brace. I'm like, what in the heck are you doing? And look at him. He's back and better than ever. He's riding better than I've ever seen him, and we've been friends since '88.
You know, at 34 years old, he is undoubtedly the oldest guy out there competing, but he acts with the youth and exuberance of a Travis Pastrana.
Let's take a look at his routine. The surfer, Tommy Clowers, pulls it off. Well, Tommy's a lot shorter. He's able to pull it off a lot easier. But look at him. He lands it that way, and not too many people ever do that.
Then look at Jonesy just throwing the flatty. He's got the foot off. The bike is up, almost upside down.
Unbelievable. The Miracle Whip. There's that transfer. We saw the show open with Chris Fort doing it. Not too many people have hit that transfer throughout the night.
And then one last shot here. I think Jonesy going big as he pokes it out. Look at the leg extension, completely horizontal. And just a split second for Jonesy to get a breath of air. Brian Farrell standing by.
Jonesy, you came out 2-minute final. You got to have a big bag of tricks, and you brought a new transfer.
Yeah, I didn't repeat any tricks. To be honest, I was a little bit nervous in qualifying. The track was slippery.
I adapted. I mean, I really want to win this event as much as I want to win the fans over, so we'll have to see what happens. I mean, I didn't repeat no tricks. I went big, did some new transfers, and I'm out of breath.
So I think you're looking to take Trevor out of his seat, and with the 93.5, I think you're the new leader.
Whoa, how about that? The first score in the 90s. He knocked Vines' 88, his paltry compared to that 93 that Mad Mike Jones has just thrown down. He deserves the hot seat. Well, I'll tell you what, we saw the precursor with the Surfer and Mike Jones to Tomcat Tommy Flowers. A man short in stature, but not on tricks. He's next when we come back. Great time with the family. Back inside the Thomas & Mack Center, we're ready to kick it big with Tomcat Tommy Flowers.
And this guy can go bigger than anybody on the leg tricks, the leg variations of no-footed cans. Look for them.
There it is, the knack-knack look back, and I'll tell you what, the reason why. Honestly, it looks almost like the guy has an ankle hooked to his hip.
He's short, but I'm telling you, he is ready to go big. And there we go. The no-footed can tweaks it way out to the side. A guy that's 6 foot, it really takes a lot more effort to pull off those tricks.
Even with Tommy, look at the extension on the Superman here. Those legs are vertical. Look how short the back fender is, so he doesn't get any boot hang-up.
There you are. Oh, the heart attack look back. He takes a peek back, stepped up from Kerry Hart's original.
And look at that. It's a brand new move from Tommy Flowers. Depends on what coast you're on. Some folks call it the 9 o'clock knack-knack. Other people are calling it the cat-knack.
I'm going to call it the cat-knack. He lands that no-handed. And Tommy really trying to be an innovator in this sport. That's what it's going to take. You heard Pastrana talk about taking it to the next level. Well, Tommy's in that next level.
And the running man. How many steps did he just kick off there?
Another signature move for him, also known as the catwalk. So he has a couple of signature moves, and that's what it's going to take, going big today.
And look at Tommy using a different line, going up the side of the dirt hits.
Use of course is something he really has to keep doing if he's going to get some good judges' impressions. Double no-footed cans, also known as the pendulum.
It looked like he threw a little bit of an Indian air in the middle of that when he was making the transition.
Exactly. That adds the variation points. The two-handed seat grab.
Sticking both feet off the back and both hands on the seat. Look at the extension turned around backwards.
Indian air Superman looking back. Unbelievable. Steps off, swings around. Notice how he keeps looking back. It's just something a little bit different.
Tommy's another one of those riders that had a long career in Supercross and Arena Cross, and now has really focused all of his talent and energy in the freestyle arena.
Well, we saw that Surfer, Tommy's own little version. He did a stand-up wheelie. You stand on the seat, drop the front end down, then did the Surfer again. Another Indian air for Tommy. He's got to be happy and listen to the crowd.
Tommy Flowers trying to better that score of Mad Mike Jones, 93.5. One-hander going in reverse on the track. You can hear the crowd just going nuts for a little Tommy Flowers.
Unbelievable routine that time for Tommy. He's happy. He and Jonesy are very good friends. And I know if Jonesy were to get knocked off that hot seat, he would want Tommy to be the guy.
Well, let's take a look here as Tommy Flowers, we talked about his legs, and look at the extension completely twisted around, feet behind him as he pokes out the Superman Indian air.
Well, take me to the chiropractor because I'd have so many bones popping. The conventional Superman, but look, the back end of the bike is dropping, but yet his feet are still climbing, and he's a little bit above parallel to the bike.
And here it is, taking Kerry Hart's heart attack to the next level. Vertical, boot straight up, and his head looking completely back.
Basically does a handstand on the seat, the pendulum, no-footed can, left to right. He is just like clockwork.
Tommy Flowers, give yourself a hand, you betcha.
But it's not enough, Terry. A 91.8, that's only good enough for second.
Boy, you can see the disappointment in Tommy's face. The 93.5 of Mike Jones still on the hot seat. Get ready for a Hawaiian punch. The Flying Hawaiian, Clifford Adoptante, when we return. Welcome back to the IFMA sanctioned Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross. Your defending IFMA Freestyle champ, Clifford Adoptante. Is he feeling the pressure?
It's just really, it's getting really hard to, you know, kind of push and be creative. Because, I mean, yeah, you think of some gnarly tricks that you want to pull off, but, you know, you're thinking, well, I want to see somebody else do it. You know, I don't want to be the first guy to really buckle or whatever it might be. But, no, there's really no pressure. I just go out, have a lot of fun. I've kind of, you know, learned from last year, from the Vans Triple Crown, going into it. You know, I just went into a mellow stage and just went out and did my own thing, and that really seemed to work out for me, and that's what I'm going to continue on doing this year.
Clifford Adoptante gets the title. He moves from Oklahoma to California and trying to, you know, just step up his talent.
Yeah, this is a guy who pretty much paid the heel clicker what it is today. Started doing it during the arena cross intermissions. And this guy exemplifies methodical, and like you have told me before, precision is the key.
Yeah, he is like an exercise in fluidity. Look at how perfect that lazy boy was. The legs are poked straight. The arms are straight behind the head. Look at the bar hop, pulls it up into a heel clicker. He's ready to go tonight.
Also, watch his time on the ground. It's not very aggressive, but he's kind of rolling on the throttle, not, you know, zigging and zagging like some of the other guys. He's got a plan. He's sticking to it.
And look at Clifford with another big hit in the double Saran. He is not disappointing. You know, you mentioned he has a plan. Even if he bobbles, he usually doesn't get flustered, and he's able to stick with that plan. And look at the extension on the two-handed Superman seat grab.
That two-handed grab, very difficult on a short course, and he's pulling it off big. The bar hump. Some of the guys aren't flexible enough to pull it off. There's no doubt. Clifford able to do everything.
Clifford last year in the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross had a couple of big dinkers. He went down hard. He rode a couple of the events injured. Right now he comes in fresh, and he's ready to go as he throws the candy bar out, pokes it on top of the front fender.
A nice candy bar. You saw the dust flying in, landed almost off the edge of that landing. So really not what he was wanting to do. He's got to keep focus and a little more time remaining. But look at Clifford. Very smooth, setting himself up, very methodical.
Clifford almost lull you to sleep there when he's on the ground. He's just going so precise and so slow, and then bang, he just nails a big trick.
Well, you remember, number of tricks is 10%. If he doesn't pull off as many, that could be a big determining factor. Great extension on the Superman.
So far, it seems that what we're looking at right now is just about a different trick on every single time he goes into the air. And he's going for the sterilizer, and a huge one across the big gap. And look at that, he lands it and gets back on the bike without falling down.
And he has 4 seconds, going to get one more trick in. And no, you know what? I think he thought he ran out of time. He could still have gotten one more trick in and got a little more bonus to his number of tricks.
The big question is it going to be enough to better the score of Mad Mike Jones with that 93.5?
Let's take a look at Clifford's run, starting it off. Nice. Double Saran. Kicks the feet through. Really made that jump popular as of late.
Yeah, both feet and both hands off the bike in front of the handlebars. And look at that, literally throwing the bike in front of him, grabbing on the back of the seat, and then throwing his body back forward to catch up with the motorcycle.
Did you notice he didn't keep his feet together? They were apart, kind of sprawled out. That might be a determining factor. Nice bar hop, actually bumps his knees against his chin, brings it back down to earth safely.
Boy, look at the look at Clifford's face. Maybe he got a peek at the judges' score. Oh, the reaction said it all. Look at that, 1 point shy of Mike Jones. It's not enough, 92.5.
No, and you can tell he was very disappointed. I think he wants to be in that hot seat right now, and I think he deserves to be in that hot seat in his mind.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Look at Jonesy, though. He's feeling confident, but look what's lurking in the shadows. He's been out in the pits meditating. We're talking about Travis Pastrana. He's ready to roll the dice when we come back to Vegas. It's Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross, the most lucrative freestyle event in the world. Your leader right now is Mike Jones, Clifford Adoptante in second, and Clowers in third. But look who is coming out. It is 16-year-old Travis Pastrana. The only place he's old enough to gamble is here tonight inside the Thomas & Mack Center.
And you notice he has never lost a freestyle motocross event. The only time basically he's ever lost is the time they carried him out on a stretcher. He separated his spine from his pelvis, and that is one heck of an injury. I think only 3 people have ever walked away from it and looked at it. He's back 2.5 years later.
I think he's the only guy that's able to walk away out of those 3. It is not something that he's a medical miracle. Not only is he a phenom, and look at he starts it right off with the knack-knack. It's a different kind of riding style here with Travis. He's much taller than, say, a rider like Tommy Clowers. See, his legs don't stick out as straight. They're so long, they kind of get up and all over his body.
But notice that Indian air. Did you notice the bike started twisting when he did that seat grab? And look, he's a little rusty right there. That's something you wouldn't have seen a year ago.
Well, you know, Travis has been out chasing a couple of other titles, namely the 125 East Coast Supercross title and the 125 Outdoor National title. He has spent very little time on his freestyle riding, and a lot of that comes from his team manager, Roger DeCoster. They do not want him taking a chance on any other injuries when he can win these other 2 titles.
And you know what? DeCoster doesn't know he's here tonight either.
Oh, it's a top secret covert operation. I'm sure if he wins the title, everything will be cool. But if he doesn't win the title, wow, I don't want to make that phone call. Look at it, the rust again, the big nothing. He goes into the no-hander lander. The bike rebounds and almost pulls away and into the wall.
That's a brand new stock Suzuki 125, and he almost broke that back fender off. When he landed, he was off the seat and was about to fall off the back fender.
Travis, very different in the way he attacks the track. It's almost like a race. He is on the gas non-stop.
Oh, 180.
Yeah, 180 aerial. Goes up the ramp and comes down the same ramp. And a one-handed reverse whip turning the bike down.
He's having a good time. That's one thing about Travis. You can be guaranteed trying to pull off one of Tommy Clower's move, just not getting his feet quite as high.
Trying to almost throw out the cat knack, and you can see now he's, oh, look, almost a little bit of indecision. He kind of was looking at the crowd and never got the feedback behind him.
But he's having a good time. Look at that transfer. Again, he's on a 125. These are tight confines, but the preload, everything working well for Pastrana. No-hander lander again.
And this is a box stock bike, a bike he normally does not ride. It was something that was the last minute for him to come here to Vegas. He thought, why not? I'm going to come out and run at the most lucrative event. I want to share that $175,000.
Hey, this is his practice bike for the Motocross des Nations, which he's going to be competing in France. And what better practice than to try and make a lot of money and put a show on for the crowd.
Heck, you can even sponsor our American team the way he's going. This kid has been on fire in the year 2000.
Listen to the crowd. They love it out there. Travis is having a great time. It's his weekend off from the Nationals. He throws out those goggles. And that's why he's not in baseball or football. But what happened to that arm?
I don't know what happened there. I think he had arm pump from signing those thousands of autographs earlier today in the pit party. Everybody wanted a piece of Travis. What's this? Another aerial. The crowd is just pumping him up. I'm telling you, this kid is like a kid in a candy store when he gets on the motorcycle.
Whoa! What? A backflip. The bike standing level, and he lands perfectly on his feet. You know what? He was at Camp Woodward, where the BMX guys go 2 weeks ago. I think it paid off.
Boy, it looks like it's paying big dividends. Only the judges will know. He's living the rock star life. Check it out. He's peeling off the clothes. The crowd all wants a piece of Travis. We're coming back to find out if the judges gave him a big enough piece to knock Jonesy off here in Vegas. We're back in Vegas, and there it is. The two guys who have an opportunity to take round number one of the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross. The kid, Travis Pastrana, and the grandfather, Mike Jones. Let's take a look at Travis's run.
Unbelievable there with the Indian Air twist. You notice the bike starting to tweak a little bit. It's unbelievable that Jonesy is twice Travis's age, and yet he's our leader right now. Travis has to knock him off.
Well, we just took a look at the pendulum, and then the big trick, in my opinion, it's something we had not seen by anybody else. A huge heel clicker, almost to a whip, and then a side hill landing.
Yeah, we saw a couple of guys, too, that transfer. Chris Rourke, Jonesy, to name a few, but nobody pulled off anything but a whip. And there's where he almost flew off the back and almost flies off the track again. That really could have cost him. That was the make or break point for Travis Pastrana's night.
Then he shakes out the cobwebs, and look at this. He hugs the gap. Not only does he clear the full 70 feet, but he does it from jumping from the right side to the left side. The only other rider to do it was Mike Jones, and this was the one that made the crowd go crazy. There was talk of a backflip, and here comes Travis. He does it, sands the motorcycle, but he does a perfect landing. I think the Russian judges liked it.
He's getting ready for the Olympics or something. What was that, the pommel horse he was doing there? Look at that. Perfectly in the air. The bike, I think he's trying to land downside as well, but that the nation's practice bike not looking too good now.
Wait till Rodney DeCoster sees that. And look at the score for Travis Pastrana. He had never been beaten in a freestyle final, and he still is undefeated with an incredible score of 94.3.
Well, I'd have to say that use of tricks was definitely the determining factor for the judges. He got more jumps in, and that's what the judges wanted to see. And that's just one of the judging criteria here today. And it looks like Brian Farrell's down there with our winner, Travis Pastrana.
Travis, you were out for a while. You came back. Didn't look like you needed any help to win this Vans Triple Crown.
Man, everyone has stepped it up 10 times, and I just went out there and put on a kind of a race run, just raced around the track a little bit. Lost a bit of momentum in the middle, but, you know, I felt like it pulled around pretty good. Tommy Clowers, Mike Jones, all those guys are pulling probably bigger tricks, but I think I linked them pretty well.
Well, you know, it was great watching you, Travis, and here's Fei Wei with the presentation. Travis Pastrana, Vans Triple Crown Vegas winner.
The PlayStation Pro, stock number 1 on the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross. Your winner tonight, Travis Pastrana over Mike Jones. But what's really important here, this is a 3-event series. We go to Baltimore and San Diego. Let's take a look at the overall points. Pastrana is your leader with Jones, Adaptante, Clowers, and Vines rounding out the top 5. There is another freestyle series going on. It's the IFMA Freestyle Series, year 2000. And let's look at those overall points with Kenny Bartram leading with 415 points. The big question on my mind here, when we go to Baltimore, Maryland, that's sort of like Travis Pastrana's backyard. It's kind of like his sandbox. Can the kid stay on a roll? Remember, he is undefeated. He has never lost a freestyle event. Is it mystique or is it style? Were the judges maybe influenced a little bit about the reputation of this kid, or was it the backflip? Whatever it comes down to, this kid has it. It is the thing that makes people stand up and take notice. He has youth and enthusiasm. For Robbie Floyd and Brian Farrell, I'm Terry Boyd. We'll see you in Baltimore. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.